Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the market close. Oh boy, we did have another green day. But if you're looking at energy, not so much. Not so much. A little bit of the red when it comes to that energy for sure. Oh boy. So, what can I say? Oh, just very quickly, I am going to turn on. I did say with the Financial Express, we'll do the Thursday show today. So if you want the Thursday show, today will be the day for that. If before the end of the stream we get four, whatever they are, four supers, four gifted subs, then we'll tack on the Thursday show. We're not going to do it tomorrow. We'll do it today. If we don't get it today, then the Financial Express, then we pull it into the station and it can get all serviced and everything else, and who knows if it'll ever be back. I'm kind of hoping we go. Because I got the energy, and it's been quite the ride, guys. It has been quite the ride since the beginning of December. This is a lot of market closes in a row. So what can I say? I will say though, guys, I did give, when I was looking for feedback from the channel members, one of the things I was thinking about is, what are we going to do different this year? So one of the options, and they actually they didn't like it. One of the options was go to a permanent market close schedule. But if we did that, we were going to lose the weekend show. And nobody wanted that. They're like, no, you can't take away the Sunday show. You can't take away this week. So this week is perfectly fine in 2026. It's not going away, don't worry. And you may have the best of both worlds as long as that Financial Express keeps going. All right, in the meantime, let's get to the markets. Let's take a look and see what is going on. And here we go. The TSX up 0.55% as we speak. And as you can see, oh my gosh, we're having a great January so far. So that blue line, that differentiates between a red and a green market for January. So we're well above that blue line. Having a great month. So you can see right now, year to date right now, we're up 1.80%. So there's a long stretch left of the year, and we'll see. It's funny, last year we finished almost at 29%. And oh gosh, as much as I would love to beat that this year, I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna end up being a little bit on the lower side for sure. But nonetheless, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Now, south of the border, the United States, the S&P 500 up a little bit higher, 0.63 today, having a pretty good day. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. Last year they did 17%. So if we're both going to do lower this year, just as long as the TSX does a little bit better. But I'll tell you right now, year to date, they're at 0.98%. So we are winning. We are still winning. So that's not a bad thing. And I do have the blue line in place for them as well, so that we can see easily where they are. I said, as yesterday, I said I would have the blue lines done for everybody, and I kept my word. They're done for everybody. And guys, did you notice as well? We had a brand new countdown coming into the show too. That's right. I put together a new countdown, a little bit more. It's a lot like the old one, but you know, with a slight facelift. I haven't made the one yet for the market for this week, but it'll basically be the same thing, but instead of market close, it'll say this week, kind of like the thumbnails. So what can I say? The NASDAQ, guys. NASDAQ also having a pretty good day. They are up 0.91%, but they're not doing as well on the year right now. They came in with a little bit of red, and quite honestly, right now they're sitting at year to date 0.41%. So they're up a little bit, but they're doing half as well as everybody else. But you guys know tech. Tech can turn around pretty darn fast when it wants to. Um, Looking at, all right, now this is where things get really interesting. So Dow Jones Industrial, so these are your industrial stocks. They're doing fantastic. They're up 1.04%. They're having a very good January so far. Year to date, they're up 2.86%. That is absolutely fantastic. And if you think that's fantastic, we got the Russell. The Russell today is up 1.41%, and they're well above their blue line, so they're doing well. For whatever reason, TradingView doesn't give me a year to date on this one, and I don't like it. I want my year to date, so I'll have to find a way that we can get this. I mean, I can always manually look it up and bring it with me to the show if I have to, but there's got to be a way. Looking at commodities today, gold is up 0.84. Silver, hi-ho silver, 4.94% up on the day. Copper up 1.25. Now, oil today is down, so West Texas Intermediate not having a great day, down 1.90%. Now, this is, I guess, maybe the honeymoon, the honeymoon feeling of, yay, there's going to be so much happening in oil with Venezuela down in the States. Maybe that's kind of stepped back a little bit. Not a great day today for Canada's energy sector. So as you guys remember, yesterday there was a lot of that fear, like, uh-oh, Canada's in trouble. Our oil is going to be not needed as much by the U.S. because now they got their own little oil bank in the form of Venezuela. But like I said yesterday, it's going to take years to get everything up and running. So I don't think we're really in a lot of trouble here. I don't think we're in a lot of trouble, but it might take a few days for this fear to subside. I hoped we had hit the bottom this morning, but I was wrong on that because I did open a play. I have a swing trade going in oil right now. It's down a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Oil, I think oil will recover a little bit, especially the Canadian energy. I think it's going to recover a little bit later in the week. Bitcoin is down as well today, and I guess, they had quite a pump yesterday. They made it up to 94, so not too shabby. So this is maybe just a little bit of a correction or maybe some profit taking at the same time. Ethereum kind of just holding above board, 0.67 to the upside. All right, guys, it's time for the heat maps. And quite literally 1 minute before the show came on, I refreshed them all. I refreshed them all today. Looking at Canada, we got a little bit of red in the financial sector. You can see that. Royal Bank down a full 1.1, TD down 1.17, CIBC down. BMO seems to be one of the better ones, and they're still down 0.08, but I'd call that flat. So BMO flat. National Bank also not too bad, down 0.47. Our non-energy minerals, so these are all of our mining stocks. That's where our strength is today. This is kind of what's powering a lot of that green we're seeing on the TSX. So you can see like Barrick. Well, Barrick's up like 4%. Cameco up 2.7%. Where is London Gold today? Guys, I don't see. Oh, there they are. They're down here, right here. London Gold. They're up 1.14% today. So, of course, if you've had a chance to see the 0 to 100K challenge, I know it just dropped today for the non-channel members, but London Gold, the #1 stock in the challenge portfolio. So, I gotta love the London Gold for sure. Our railroads. Look at this. Both CP and CN having a fantastic day. CNR up 1.65%, CP up 1.40%. I'm hoping this is the start of a better year for our railroads, for sure. Heading south of the border, Let's get rid of this. Tesla having a really bad day today. 4.39% down. So I know I do have a swing on Tesla, so I'm sitting on it for a bit. Tesla will bounce back. I have no doubt about that. Google down today, 1.19. Apple down 1.64. Microsoft is up almost 1%. Nvidia down a little bit, which is kind of interesting. There's a lot of excitement right now going on in tech because, well, we got the Consumer Electronics Show, otherwise known as the CES. So that's going on down there south of the border. And a lot of cool stuff. I've been watching some of the videos coming out of CES, and it's like, oh, there's a few things I'm like, I think I need one of those. I think I need one of those. So what can I say? What can I say? Yeah. Well, I'm just seeing if there's any real highlight in here. Pretty much, if you're not technology in the States, you seem to be having mostly okay days. So, not too shabby, not too shabby. All right, looking at crypto, and we got, like we said, we got a bit of red on the market, on the crypto market today. Bitcoin down, XRP down. Solana's up though. Solana is up, so that's kind of a well, Solana and Ethereum. That's we got a little bit there. A Dogecoin is down. Cardano's down. Nonetheless, guys, it's kind of a tradition here. I like to pick on a coin, an altcoin. It's a red market today, so let's pick on a green coin. Somebody who's actually bucking the trend of all right, let's see here. Let's grab over here. This one here. What is this? I have no idea. Let's bring them on up here. Rice AI. Just when you wanted your boring supper to get smarter. Yeah, I don't know what this is. It's worth it's worth less than a penny. It's worth 0.59 of a penny. Obviously, they're taking advantage of AI. So we see AI there. They're definitely pulling that in. I don't know what this is. It could be anything. I think, I think there's a university that has Rice as its abbreviation or something. Like maybe the Rhode Island College of Education? I don't know. I have no idea. So I have no idea what this does. I kind of don't care. These are risky coins. I'd rather dabble in penny stocks than altcoins, to be honest. Now, there's a few of you out there that are probably growling at me like now, saying, Candace, it's not that bad. But it is. These are coins that if you don't know what you're actually investing in, they can be highly, highly dangerous. So if you are interested in an altcoin, take a look at the white paper. Make sure you understand it. Maybe check out their social media. Don't just sort of go in because they have a cute name or because that's how they get you. There's rug pulls. There's a lot of things that happen here. This coin may turn into being a good coin. I don't know. But I wouldn't take the chance. I call them crap coins because it's like going to the casino, folks. You're throwing that dice at the crap table and you're probably going to lose. So there is money to be made in crypto, but, stick to the more reliable coins. So stick to the big coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. All right, let's go back to our main screen here and let's go big and let's check out what's going on in the comments. So we still have 15 minutes. We got 16 minutes to the bell. So that's one of the things. So yeah, any of you who are wondering, wait a minute, I thought this show starts at 3:45. We did change the start time to 3:30 for the new year. I'll still point that out a few times, I think, but pretty soon, after this week, I'm not going to point that we changed the time anymore. So let's see what's going on. We got Claude in the house first. Not who I was expecting. Let's see. Am I late for? Oh, wait. Wrong person. Twilight Zone approaching. Confirmed. That rumor of Claude and Jonathan being related. Yeah, I think you just confirmed it. Paralovia. Today actually hurt like deep pain. Uh-oh. Are you heavily invested in energy? Is that what happened? Because that would absolutely feel like deep pain for sure. Mario says, good afternoon, everyone. It's a dividend day. Nice. You gotta love dividends. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I've gotten most of my dividends for the month. There's still a few to come out, but well, like I think in a few days or so we get the next 6E one. So yeah, loving it, loving it, loving it. Oh, oh, guys. Speaking of dividends, speaking of 6E, let me show you what dropped today. Doop-a-doo. All right. So Evolve International. So Evolve. Good old Evolve announced today INTY. So INTY. They are expecting it to begin trading on the 15th of January. So this one here is the Evolve International. It's probably hard to read. Maybe, you know what I should do? I wonder if I can change my highlight to yellow. That might make it easier to read. But so the Evolve International Equity Ultra Yield ETF. If you guys saw that interview I did with Raj, the CEO of Evolve, he hinted that this one was coming. So now we got more information. So it is going to be beginning trading on the 15th, which is fantastic. And this one here, it's basically going to be so they're going to have a portfolio of leading international equity securities. So this one will give you some international exposure, which is fantastic. And it is also going to be, they're going to be writing covered calls on up to 33% of the fund. And it is going to be a semi-monthly. So you're going to get dividends twice a month with this one here. So kind of exciting. This is coming out, like I said, January 15th. Well, expected. Keep in mind, there's still another approval, but it's kind of a rubber stamp at this time. We kind of figured we'd be seeing a little bit of a parade of ETFs this year, so let it begin. Here comes Evolve. I guess they're holding they're in the drum major position of the band, I guess, of the marching band. So let's see what comes next. Let's see what comes next. I'm here for it. I'm here for it for sure. All right. Stan is in the house with a good afternoon, all. Elaine says good afternoon. Scott says good afternoon. So here's the Nightbot. So yeah, this is for the Thursday show, guys. We, of course, always have a Wednesday show. So we are here tomorrow. We're just going to do the Thursday today. That's kind of funny sounding. But yeah, we're doing the Thursday today. All right, Max says, hey, everybody, Happy New Year. All right, Perlovia, no green, my way was playing. Torlamine all morning, then got greedy, bought 2,000 shares at 59.50 and watched it go to 59. Guess it's now becoming a swing trade. Yikes, yeah, that's a thing. Actually, this morning, Canadian Energy, let's not go oil, but Canadian Energy looked like it was starting to do what I was expecting. However, guys, and let's go back here. Let's go back here for a second. This here, so here's Tuesday. There we go. So yeah, Tuesday. This is all Tuesday. But you'll notice here that as we moved into Tuesday, we had this little bit of a recovery. So we did get a bit of a recovery this morning, and that's one of the things I was kind of expecting, that we'd see a bit of a recovery to kind of make up for, this day that we had yesterday. But now look at this WTI. It's down 1.91%. That there is the driving force between here. Now, obviously, yeah, there's still some people worried, but I don't think it's as big of an issue today as the fact that WTI went down. So this is what we're seeing here. It's going to bounce back. So I wouldn't worry about it. Perlovia, if anything, your Torlamine is going to be fine. You'll be fine with that. Just hold it. Wait, it'll come back. Scott, now let me just see here. I'm trying to find my mouse. Oh, there's my mouse. All right. Scott says, I set a limit buy on CNQ at 43.50 when it was at 44.50, walked away for a couple of hours, and it blew way past that limit. Now here's my question. Did it actually execute or not? Um, because sometimes if you gap down, if things fall fast, sometimes you can miss a sale. But let me know. Let me know if it executed or if it actually jumped over your limit. Xenial Energy and banks got hit hard. Yeah, energy big time. Banks secondary for sure. Oroku says hi all. Go copper. Yep. You gotta love it when the copper's at the top. And I'm not talking Duracell. Perlovia says all was fine in the first half of the day, then it came to the second half. Yeah. What can I say? I'm gonna have coffee, guys. I just want some. All right. Scott says I was listening to the Front Burner podcast. Apparently, the majority of our oil is refined in the U.S. Midwest. We would be competing with Venezuela on with the Texas refineries. And this is a good point. This is actually a really good point, Scott. Um, if the U.S. is all of a sudden processing a lot of Venezuelan oil, even even the oil that we typically like, we sell our oil to the U.S. and we buy back the finished product. So in a way, we might end up buying Venezuelan oil when we're buying back oil. It's kind of a crazy thing, and this is why. And I know we've got nothing like this at all in the infrastructure projects that are being talked about, but gosh, it sure would be nice if we could process some of our own oil. It really would be nice. So, but that's a good point for sure. Mary's in the house with a hello all. Hello, Mary. So Mary, guys, she's our official captain of the like button. If you haven't hit that like button, hit it now. It really does help the channel. It helps the algorithm push the channel out too as well. And it's always appreciated. All right. Luke says, can you believe it? Timber Creek Financial up 5% in a month. This may end up being a swing trade. Timber Creek Financial. I got out of Timber Creek Financial. I still like them though, but I've soured a lot on, and I don't want to say Timber Creek Financial, but overall real estate. I think they're going to have a better year, but I just feel like my money is better off in another sector. So I've kind of backed out a little bit. I am keeping RMAX running. I'm keeping them up and running. RMAX may not pick up a lot of value, but it'll produce income. So I'm okay with that. We got Chad from Saskatchewan in the house. Smash the like button, y'all, and good day to everyone. Absolutely. See, everybody wants you to hit the like button. You know who I'm talking about. The one who didn't hit the like button. It's time. Just do it. Perlovia. Trump is dreaming to think he will get his hands on that oil. Oil companies in the U.S. want no part of it. Just Trump stupidity at its best. Yeah, I mean, we gotta see. Like I said, I don't think the story is done yet. I don't think it's going to be as easy as the current administration thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot more complicated than they think. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay, and I'm okay with being wrong, guys. Perlovia. Let's see. Actually, been swinging TF last couple of weeks. Great pick. Yeah, and Timber Creek Financial really didn't come under my radar as something to swing. So that's definitely a move. I maybe want to have swung that. Interesting. SNDK is mooning today. Do you think it's too late to buy? I just had to quickly look at the clock to make sure I don't get too distracted here. Let's go. We got time. We do have enough time to look at SNDK. Oh, wow. That's the whiteboard. Maybe we'll use that later. I don't know. It's a possibility. And here's our second whiteboard because it's just not loading. All right, let's just reload the site. There we go. Okay, what are we looking at? SNDK. All right, so Scene Potash. No, that's not them. That is not them at all. That's SN.H. SNDK. All right. It's not coming up here, but you know what? Give me a second. I'm going to duplicate the tab. I normally I have Yahoo up here as well. I'm going to bring up Yahoo Finance. See if I can find it here. SNDK. SanDisk. SanDisk. Okay, why did SanDisk not come up? All right, SanDisk Corporation. All right, and of course, I know that they make, the only product I know 100% they make are some of those little discs for cameras and such, storage discs. I think they also do thumb drives as well, but they probably do a little bit more. Yeah, here we go. SanDisk stock scores 23%. Their expected stellar earnings from the memory supplier. Okay, so let's take a, you know what? Here's what I want to do here. SNDK, I want to come over here because it sounds like there's an earnings coming up on them. SNDK, let's see when those earnings are coming up. All right, here we go. Let's pull up SanDisk. All right, here we go. Here's a good question. Where are those earnings coming in at? I don't know when they're coming in. This is not giving that to me, but right now we're looking, basically this is, well, the whole rumor of the earnings, I think, is absolutely pushing them up. Is it too late to buy, though, is the question. If they have earnings coming up, and I think they must. Actually, here, let's go back. TMX Money would normally tell me this. You know what? I'm going to come back to TMX and just type in ScanDisk. ScanDIS. Here we go. ScanDisk. Seriously? Or is it DISC? No. I'm getting nothing. I'll tell you something, guys. Yeah, TMX, I think they're having issues today because I've had a few things like watch HBTE. I can type this in and get it up every single time. Nothing today. Nothing. I was looking at something on it earlier today, and I had to find a back end way to get into it. So that's kind of weird. But all right, hold on. We're gonna go back over here. Let me see. I'm gonna go to the news section. All right, news. Here we go. Yeah, Micron. All right. Oh, yeah. It's kind of giving me a little bit of everything. We got about 2.5 minutes, by the way, to the bell. So yeah, ScanDisk rally turbocharged by NVIDIA. It looks like right now, a lot of people are very, very excited for ScanDisk. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's see. The Seagate breaks out to new all after fueled by a 219% 2025 rally. So I like the company. I think it's a good company. Are we going to go really crazy? Probably not. Probably not. But nonetheless, there could be some more growth on it. In a way, though, here's another thing too, though. If I was going to buy right now, this here is hype towards some earnings that haven't happened yet. I would find out when the earnings are because we might get a bit of a retraction. You might get a little correction before the earnings once that hype sort of dies down. So I would kind of go that route. I would, maybe dollar cost average if this is a company that you're interested in. But I like the idea. I think I like long term where this company could be going. And it's, once again, they are huge fundamentals and heading towards where AI is going. I think this is a company that could do well for sure. All right. I need to get my mouse back. My mouse today just seems to want to go wherever it can. But guys, before we go any further, we do have a super sticker coming in from Sky for $149. Thank you, Sky. I really appreciate that. And that does make you our first goat of the day. So the corral is open. If we get 4 goats in there, and they can come from supers or gifted subs, we add that show on to Thursday. We already got tomorrow's show. So we're today we're earning Thursday, and we'll earn Friday on Thursday. if we go that far. I mean, we could stop. Today could be the last day of the Financial Express. I don't know. But I also want to point out as well, we are going to be retiring. So this goat, I'll pull it up again here. I normally don't do two for one, but this goat is going to be retired first. So we have a secret goat. And right now, I'm not telling anybody how to get it, but the number 5 is the one clue that we have. And speaking of 5, we also have our 5th goat. So if we get 5, we have an extra goat. That extra goat today is it's our New Year's resolution goat, which has not yet shown up. So it might show up by the time New Year's resolutions are already starting to break. Ah, boy. All right. And I have, guys, it's bell time. I apologize. I was 34 seconds late. So does that count as a broken resolution to have the bell on time each day? Do I get a 34-second leeway? That'll be the question. Oh boy. I can't believe I was 34 seconds late, but it happened because I got distracted by goats. The goats distracted me. What can I say? Oh boy. All right, now let's get back to where I was. Zyborg. Now I guess I don't have to worry about the bell. A lot of semiconductor tech going nuts. So yeah, SanDisk, TXN, Micron. Yeah, Micron, absolutely. Micron really big time. Michelle says, hi from the stormy West Coast. Insider trading on energy, anyone? US profiting nicely. Yes. I'm sure that there is insider trading going on. Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Because even if you think about it, there was an interview with Trump and they were like, he did say, oh yeah, I told all the energy companies ahead of time that I was going to do the Venezuela thing. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So yeah, there's probably insider trading like crazy with this administration. Tom is in the house with a big divvy day. Was able to average down my Tesla to 38.39. Nice. Yeah. I mean, Tesla, oh boy. Very, very bad day for Tesla. And guys, I'll show you. Let's take a look here. There's ScanDisk. Here's Tesla's day. Yeah. One nice little recovery here, but still it's been a long little trip. I'm still pretty bullish on Tesla. Tesla turns itself around all the time, so I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried at all. Anchor says, I like the idea of the international ETF. Will it likely be a pared down eBank? No, it'll be different. So eBank is mostly going to be, eBank is your European financials. So eBank is much more concentrated. So not to say, now I do not know what Inti is going to hold. They will probably have maybe a couple of the same holdings as eBank. They might have a couple of banks in there as well, but they're going to have a bit of everything. So it's going to be a much more diversified. So it'll be neat. Once it comes out on the 15th, guys, we'll take a look. We'll look on the air. We'll take a look and see what they're holding. I think it's going to be kind of cool. Wahipple. Hey, I am here. Nice to see you, Wahipple. And continuing, my TFSA deep red, but my RRSP is up 2%, but not enough to make my combined green. Yikes. We get these days. Now, overall, the market is green, though, guys. Believe it or not. Anchor Tours, Paralovia, 2,000 shares. Not buying C&Q until it reaches $38, and it will, says Rory. It executed. I will buy the limit or lower. Okay, fantastic. There we go. Patricia says hi. Let's see. The Michael. So this is probably the most important Michael, but because it's the Michael. So the Michael says, but big oil won't spend billions to go into Venezuela. Yeah, we'll have to see. Now, keep in mind, though, Trump is the type that, he could give them tax breaks and everything to do it to make sure he gets his way. So it's hard to say. But like I said, I don't think the story's over. I think it's far from over for sure. Chad says, go silver. Moon right to the moon. Sorry, or rocket ship right to the moon. Another all-time high. Silver's having a good day. Having a good day. I mean, take a look. Let's go to silver. We've got it all today. We got it all. Silver. Here we go. Silver. Now it's up 5.93. So yeah, it is climbing. And I mean, all-time high? Not an all-time high. Right here, they were up at 83.72. 83.72. So they're not at an all-time high, but all-time high for the year. For the year they are. Absolutely. But nonetheless, I think they'll break that. I think silver will have a good year. Gold's going to have a good year. Copper's going to have a good year. I'm very bullish on the material sector overall. Scott says, yes, they were in Venezuela, spent billions only to have the government seize it all. SNDK chart is a hockey stick. You gotta love hockey sticks, especially in Canada. Other than the juniors, I think we lost our shot at the gold. So apparently we're playing for the bronze. That's what I heard. I haven't had a chance to really catch up on it. Claude says, with the last couple of great days, banks had today's correction is normal. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm not really concerned. Like, to me, that's a normal thing. It's a healthy thing. You have a nice pump, you have a little correction, then you're ready to pump again. So not a bad thing. Rory says sold off some Royal Bank when it was $185 a share. Profit, of course. Nice. SanDisk. Oh, that might be it. You know what? Let's try that. SANDIS. Come on. I'll put the K in. Still nothing. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. What can I say? Scan. Oh, I just did sand. Oh, never mind. SCAN, scan. Yeah, and I get like I'm getting absolutely nothing. Now, TMX is sometimes like that with US stuff. That's what we went over to Yahoo. All right. Chad says it's not only heavy crude. Trump wants Venezuela is sitting on 220 billion worth of Bitcoin and lots of untapped silver mines as the big bank shorted silver and lost 10 billion. And lots of rare earth elements. So yeah, there is a lot of rare earth elements there as well. So it's all about minerals, from oil to rare earth elements, silver. Yeah, if they're holding a bunch of Bitcoin too, well, maybe, I can't see Trump just sort of coming in and say, yeah, we're taking everything, leaving you nothing. They obviously they can't just sort of, they have to be able to justify what they take. I'm not saying a good justification, at least something flimsy, but they need something. Chad says, got brain fog today, can't remember the bank on 4 hours sleep. Rory says, nice rally by CN Rail. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget the bell. I was 30 seconds late. Well, 34 seconds. 34 seconds exactly. The bell. Let's see, all the silver lovers, check out Defense Defiant Silver got in last week. 25 already up a couple of cents. Let me know what you all think. If you give me the ticker, I can look at it, but tangent alert. I know. And it wasn't even a tangent. I was just talking about the goats. Yeah, the bell. I like your pick on CPCC. I got it, and it's doing good. Oh, well, thank you, Morley. I did add it to the challenge, so it's been fantastic since then. And we got their first dividend is dropping this month too. Has it already dropped? It might have. I'm not sure, but it is dropping this month. Well, let's take a look. CPCC. Here we go. Global X. So this here's your Global X Copper Equity Covered Call ETF. And look at this. Today they were up 1.66%. So not too shabby. I'll pull up the 1 month because actually now I guess I need 3 months. So here we go. Yeah, look at this. They've been moving up. I love this. They have a dividend. They have a pretty good dividend. Their yield's not huge. It's only like a 7.346% yield. But then again, you know what, guys? This is a new fund, so I don't know if I trust this number. I don't know if I trust this number. It might be off. It might be off. All right, guys. You know what time it is? It's calculator time. It's calculator time. All right, so we got 14-cent dividend. Let's do. Well, I got to turn it on first. I normally use my phone, but my phone is the camera. So, all right, 14 cents. And that is, of course, well, it's a monthly, so it's times 12. So we're looking at $1.68 a year. We will divide that by, and we're at, what are they, 23.25. All right, here we go. Okay, that isn't right. That is accurate. It's that actually brings up 7% at this moment. So, all right, that is an accurate number. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. I always, if it's a new fund, I usually will like to double check with TMX, because sometimes with new funds, I do find that they can. Sometimes their math goes a bit wonky. So I always like to double check. All right, but nonetheless. Oh, and I was going to check. I think I thought their dividend already dropped, but let's just double check. Almost. It hasn't. It's dropping here on the 8th. So that means, guys, on the 8th, you will get your CPCC dividends if you got it early. Well, you won't, but your broker will get it, and you'll probably see it on the 9th. So it's normally a day for the most people. I have heard stories, though, of some brokers that take 2 days. I don't know which ones they are, and I'm just glad I don't have those brokers. Scott says, until it ticks over to 4:01, I say it counts. All right. Yeah, it was still technically 4 o'clock, for sure. John says, good afternoon. Sold some CC and trying 100 shares of ARCs for 3 months to get better return, $3 to $4 upward gain. Okay. Interesting. Let us know how that goes, especially after the month. Let's see. You're all good. Less than 4:01. Good job. Mark says, I get a standard deviation of 59 seconds. I like that standard deviation. Let's see, 4:01 is too late. If the clock still say 4, it's good. Yeah, exactly. Now keep in mind, I was 34 seconds late. So for you guys, that probably, I think there's about a 15-second delay across YouTube. So that probably would put it closer to a 45-second for you guys. Chad says no bell for 2026. No bell. Yeah, I think people would get upset with me if I stop doing the bell. Let's see here. Garden says, you say you're very bullish on copper to me. I am very bullish on copper. Copper, oh gosh. Copper is, well, here, let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something. Something I've never shown you before on the stream. Let's go to Google. All right, we're going to pull up the images. All right, guys, we're going to, I want this whole thing. Let me see here. Let's see if I can open the image. Let's see, open image in new window. Let's just do a window, sure. Here we go. The periodic table of the elements. Did you guys think you would be seeing this today? Well, here's what I want to show you. So right here is, I'm going to pull this up. This is row 11. And here's the interesting thing about this row, just because of where they locate. We're not going to get into the atomic configuration. We're not going to talk about orbitals. We're not going to talk about that. But what we are going to mention is that this is a row of highly conductive. So these elements in this row will conduct electricity pretty much better than most rows on the periodic table. And look what we have here. Copper. Who do we have below copper with the same properties, just slightly heavier? Silver. Who's below silver? Same properties, but once again, heavier. Gold. Then, of course, at this point, we go down. This one actually, rhodogenium, is a man-made one. It's actually, but here's the thing. But these three right here, that's what's kind of important. Copper, silver, gold, right there on the periodic table. And that's why the way they're grouped. So each group has particular properties. Like, for example, if you look at this last group that has like argon, krypton, xenon, those are noble gases. They don't react very well with anything because they've got, I said we weren't going to talk about orbitals, but their orbitals are full. So anyway, this is just what I wanted to show you. The copper, silver, and gold all together on a row. They have very similar electrical properties, being able to conduct electricity really well. And here's the thing. All of our critical materials, our critical elements, all of our critical mineral, not all of our critical, but all of our critical components. So all of our electronics, what's conducting the electricity? Copper, silver, and gold, right there. That's why these are really, really important. And a beautiful thing is, a lot of mines you'll find all three together, which is also kind of interesting. It's like they hang out. It's like row 11 only. Well, not really. You'll also usually find things like zinc as well, and a few others. But yeah, these are really, really, really important. All right. Let me get rid of the periodic table. There you go, guys. It was a one-time thing. It was definitely a one-time thing. We should quickly just come back here, and yeah, just taking our final look here. The TSX did finish at 0.58, so it did finish in the green. And our last look at our heat map here, once again, no real difference. There's nothing really standing out other than, well, CNR actually did move up a little higher. So I think they were at 1.5 the last time we looked. They're up around 1.64, finishing the day. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right. Now, let's go to big screen. Let's go to the big screen. Rob said, I tried, but SVR, I tried to buy SVR, but couldn't. Seems like the price keeps walking away from me every time I modify my bid. Oh, yeah, that happens. That can definitely happen. I just know sometimes I will be putting in a limit and it's already past it by the time I'm ready to hit submit. Or sometimes I'll hit the submit and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's already past it. So I have to wait for it to come back down, or I have to change my limit. Yeah, absolutely. Chad says silver at 112 ounces. Canadian was 105 yesterday. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it had a good day. As Trump would say, you're fired. Ah, but anyway, speaking of being fired, Mary, as usual, is on fire, and we got a $3.99 super sticker from the wonderful Mary. Thank you very, very much. And guys, that releases goat number 2. So we got 2 goats in the corral, which means we're 2 away from adding that Thursday show. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you again, Mary. All right, now I need to find where I was. It's funny because the way I scroll through the comments, I try to remember a specific comment, and this time it was easy. It was Chad's comment saying, "You're fired." I love it. All right, Rob says maybe I should get into Amex if SVR doesn't buy. Yeah, Amex actually has done pretty well this year. Let's take a gander. We're heading back in. All right, good old Amex. Hopefully it can see it. Yes, it can. All right, so Amex, of course, your Hamilton gold producer, yield maximizer. So you are losing some of your upside on this. That happens, but you are getting income in exchange. Nonetheless, you're still getting a good amount of growth, which is, to me, fantastic. I find that with Hamilton as well. You do tend to get a good amount of growth with a lot of their funds. So, when you look at things like AMAX, HYLD, HDIV, and in this case here, look once again, you're not getting a crazy yield. So they're obviously structuring this because, well, this is a sector that can give you some good returns at the same time. So it's nice when they structure a income fund to do that. Absolutely. All right. Oh, this sounds familiar. Deja vu. You say you're very bullish on copper, assuming growth. So why do you choose a covered call play over a growth play like LUN or HBM? Just trying to understand strategy. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, doesn't mean that I won't choose a non-covered call as well. But overall, my strategy is growth income. So I do like to have a certain amount of steady growth. I will have that for sure in my portfolio, but I also need that income. I need that income as well. So anytime I get a covered call fund that has a good amount of growth to it, so for example, like the covered, like the Global X covered call copper fund, I love it. To me, that's really fantastic. So that to me works. Now, that's my strategy. That may not be your strategy, and that's fine. Because if you have a complete dividend growth strategy, well, that's not, that covered call, you're going to look at it and say, oh, that's not for me. I want all my upside 100%. And that's fantastic. Especially if you're younger. If you're younger, I would almost say, like for most young people, I would say that's probably your better bet to go with that dividend growth way to just build as much space as possible. And even though I would say that the other big factor is always going to be one thing. There's always one thing that everything boils down to. What's that total return? So even if you were a dividend growth, but you found a stock that had, a little bit more income than perhaps most of your other stocks or ETFs have, if its total return though is still higher and still up where you like it, then there's nothing wrong with that at the same time. Chad says just buy physical silver. There we go. I personally, I'm not going to buy physical commodities for one reason. I don't want the headache of custodianship. So that is that one thing that comes with it. So if you are stacking silver, stacking gold, physical gold, you become responsible for it. You become responsible for storage. You become responsible for security. Now, there are some options out there, like, for example, the Canadian Mint. They do provide custodianship. So you can buy your gold and keep it there. That is one thing you can certainly do. But for me, I'm happy with ETFs. I'm happy with that exposure that way. I don't want the headache. And, and I know there's people here that want it, and I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. Chad, TD Bank offers it or buy directly from the Mint as it's 0.9999% fine. TD is 0.999. Okay. But here's the thing though, Chad. I'm just, when you look at this 0.999 and the other is 0.999, it might just be a significant number thing. I don't know. To me, at that point, it's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close. When you start getting into fractions of fractions, sometimes it's like, but still, I can understand the attraction of the 4 nines. Paul, let's see, deposited enough in main TFSA to buy 2 shares of Harvest Tesla to correct a display issue in Snowball Analytics that didn't reflect the previous all withdrawal. Okay, that's interesting. I've never used Snowball Analytics, but yeah, that is still interesting. It's a SanDisk. All right, we'll try one more time. All right, SAN. All right, and then disk, DIS, and we're gonna put the K in here, and nothing. It's TMX is just having some issues today. Like I said, there are things I am very that I could type in. Like there are things I've typed in over and over again, and it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened. All right, now before we get to the next comment, we got number 3. Scratch is in with a super chat. I am so in row 11 right now. There we go. Row 11. Silver, copper, and gold. Love it. I love it. Oh, thank you very much, Scratch. And that brings out our third goat of the day. So we got 3 goats in the corral. We're 1 away from a Thursday show. So I'm sure one of you guys will put that in the bag pretty soon. And if you want to go one further, you can see That you can see that aerobics, the New Year's resolution goat. It might have something to do with aerobics since I kind of slipped on that, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh boy. All right, now getting back to the chat, we were at, where the heck are we? I am trying to find Kelly, because that was the next comment. Here we go. Kelly. Hooray for IVN. How do you know when to sell? Is this a buy and hold forever, or should I get out? So IVN. So yeah, IVN, of course, they've been having a fantastic run. Let's pull them up. IVN. So Ivanhoe Mines. And we'll take a look here. So when you look, and this is, I kind of went, and let's even go further out. Let's go to the 3-year. I kind of want to show this I want this context because of all of this movement in the middle. When you look at this, the fact that they are capable of coming up into these higher areas, like if they're capable, like right here, I think this is a steady area. $17, I think is pretty steady. So here's the interesting thing. They're about, like even right now, you could even argue that they've already broken in. Like you could argue that the support is closer to here. If that's the case, they could have some support at this level. If they go a little higher, Kelly, I could see them even climbing up to $20. So with that being said, though, you have to sort of look at it as well. Like obviously you probably got in down in here. You're probably in a nice profit. I think from that perspective, if you take a little off the table, that's never a bad thing. I don't know if I would take all off the table. I do like IVN as a longer term. And one of the things I like too is that they have copper, not just gold. A lot of people look at this and they think about the gold, but they've got a pretty good copper play too. So I do like this company. I like this company on a long term. And so yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what to do. You have to use your own due diligence, but I can only give you that information and hope it kind of helps you guide you in that right direction. But I do think there is a possibility that if it can stay above this area, it's got a chance of moving back up. But at the same time, if the support is actually coming in a little higher, it could correct too. So I don't want to, I don't want to say that there isn't a chance of both. There is. If it corrects though, if anything, I would be more or less kind of looking to add to it because I do think this is easily worth. I think this is a stock that's worth $20 easily. And actually really interesting. If you look at their fair value, that's actually, and I have not looked at their fair value, but let's take a look at their fair value. We're heading over to Simply. So simplywall.st is a great site for looking at fair value. IVN, let's put them in here. IVN, here we go. Ivanhoe Mines, bang. And future growth, actually, I think it's in valuation. Here we go. Valuation right here. So this is interesting. This is not what I was expecting. They're actually seeing a fair value of $6.14. So that's interesting. You know what? I wonder when their last earnings was coming out, because that might explain this. But when I see something like this, I'm kind of like, oh, that is interesting. Now, I'm a little interested here about, just because I'm here, here we go. This here is, basically, this is analyst prediction on where this price is going to be within a year. So the analysts are predicting 1793. So I put more weight in this than I put into the fair value for sure. Because that's kind of where I was thinking. Like I said, I actually think $20. I'm a little more bullish on these guys. Now, here is my question. I need to know, and how can I find this out? I can find this out. Actually, you know what? Let's go to, let's go to their financial health, and we're going to take a look here at this here. This is what I wanted to know. So right now, you can sort of see here, this shows their debt to equity 20.5%, but this is from the September 29th data. So all of the growth that they've had in the second half of the year, none of that's being reflected in the data right now, because this is what I was suspecting. So they should be having new earnings coming out. Like, what is it? Is it this month? Pretty soon. We should be getting some new earnings. Because these are the earnings. Well, that's the end of this quarter, the September 29th. So we've not yet seen the end of the last quarter, which just ended with the end of the year. So we should be getting earnings on these guys. I don't know if it gets slated for January or February, but I imagine we'll get earnings fairly soon, sooner than later. That to me is going to change things a little bit. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but bottom line, I like IVR. I think that I think there's a IVN. I think there is a long-term case for them for sure. All right. Perlovia says coin shops in Winnipeg have no bars to sell and not sure the mint sells direct. Must place an order $1 million, nothing less, what I was told. Holy banana bread. If you have a situation where even the coin shops have no bars anymore, that's saying something. That actually is saying something, guys. Like I said, in my top, if you guys watched the video I did recently on my predictions for this year, my top 2 sectors, one of them was materials, and I really think that's going to be big. Paul says, paying off all that debt in December got me a credit rating of 879 out of 900. That's not too shabby. That's pretty good, actually. Excuse me, that's pretty good, actually. Rory says, EIT soaring to almost $16. What the is going on? Let's take a look. Good old EIT. So Canoe, and I'm as you guys know, I'm definitely a big fan of Canoe. All right, now I have a hypothesis. I do have a hypothesis on this. But yeah, look at this, 1579. Now, they have once a year they do that voluntary buyback. So they buy back some shares every year, like around, usually it's in January. So I think they call it a redemption. But it's basically them buying back shares, and those shares, of course, then get removed from the from their market cap, from their outstanding shares amount. So as that number shrinks, it does inflate their price a little bit. So that's what I think we're seeing here. I believe this might be the result of their annual redemption. So that's why it pushes them up. And that's one of the reasons why I would never do the annual redemption. Because the people who do it push that price up, and if you didn't do it, you could sell. You could, if you wanted to get out, you could sell at a higher price. So yeah, I believe that's what's going on there. All right. Wahipple says, I got Amax in my RRSP and wish I had more. I hear ya. Paralovia, noticed an insider selling. Most lately have been mine stocks. Yes. Scott says, we'll give you a Nobel Prize for missing the bell. Well, everybody else says I didn't miss the bell because it still said 4 o'clock. So, but yeah, it was 34 seconds late, and I hear that. Wahipple, sometime with CIBC, if you buy a brand new on the market ETF, the first payment takes an extra day to get in the account. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Oh, I did not know about that. All right. And how far behind am I? Oh, I'm only about 15 minutes. Only about 15 minutes. Oh, well, I got nowhere to go, so let's keep going. Wahipple says, noble gases make good gas shield for welding. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're very non-reactive, so absolutely. Scott said, astronomers consider anything not hydrogen or helium as a metal. Yeah. I mean, it all starts as hydrogen. Then things fuse together. You get helium, all that fun stuff. The stuff that happens in a star is definitely fantastically interesting. Claude says, not that they give big dividends at all, but I still haven't received those from XGD. Oh, really? Let's take a look and see what's going on. XGD, here we go. So these are your iShares Global Gold Index. And I just want to go, let's just go into their, all right. So January 5th is the pay date. So that was yesterday. So yeah, so normally you would get those today. But you say you haven't received those yet. Hopefully you get them by tomorrow. Who is? Are you with Wealthsimple, Claude? Or because that's normal. Normally I find Wealthsimple pretty good at getting it. Well, yeah. When you say they were due yesterday, though, that's when the broker receives it. So the pay date here on the 5th, the broker would have received it yesterday, and then you get it the next day. So you technically should get it today. But I know that I've heard some stories of some brokers taking 2 days. I don't like that. I like to get it faster, but yeah, it could be very interesting. All right, let's see here. Let's get back here. All right, we've got Rob. Let's see. Some YouTuber was saying ETF silver price versus the physical silver will decouple. Any truth to this? I don't think so. I think the only real difference, obviously, is if there is any kind of a management, so any management expense ratio, that would be the only real difference. Other than if they do any kind of spread, like an ETF company could certainly do something where, where they're making quite a bit more, and sometimes as well, broker can also put in a kind of meddle with that spread a little bit. So the spread is that whole buy ask thing. But no, I don't think there's any truth to that. That to me would be odd. Like there's no reason that would happen. So hopefully, I mean, I don't know what they gave as their reasoning, but I can see no reason for that to happen. Scott says the noble Sir Scratch. And Rob says, is there a storage fee for gold? Uh-oh. I just noticed something here. Guys, I just noticed something. All right, give me 1 second here. We got Paul in with a super sticker. I did not notice it. It snuck in. It snuck in. But guys, that has now secured the Thursday show. And it's also brought out our 4th goat, of course. So all goats are now, well, not all goats, but we're one away from if you guys want to see the New Year's goat, we're one away from that. But we do have a 4th show. We have a 4th goat, so we have a show on Thursday. So, and yeah, the next time on Thursday, you'll have an opportunity to go to Friday if you want. But yeah, holy banana bread. The train keeps going. The train keeps going. I love it. I love it. All right. Now, thank you once again, Paul. Let me see here. Where are we? Okay, right here. Actually, no. Sorry, Newell. We'll get back. We'll get to you, Newell, in just a second. Here we go. We were actually at Rob. Is there a storage fee for gold? If you're storing it, yeah, I think there's a fee. I don't know what the fee structure is on storage. But yeah, obviously they're not going to do it for free. But there would be a fee. There would be a fee. I don't know what it is though. Michael says, "Hello, Candace. If time permits, could you please share your thoughts on Primaris REIT?" Okay, let's head over. Let's head over. Primer. Of course, it's not going to come up. Actually, it's AR. That's why. Primaris. Come on. Primaris. There we go. Primaris Real Estate. So PMZ or Z if you're an American. All right. Let's pull up. So this one has actually been kind of moving in the right direction. We are getting a little bit of higher highs. Well, technically that's a lower high, but from here we've had a few higher highs. That's good. I like to see it. Now with this REIT here, let's just pull this up. This one here is mostly enclosed shopping centers, dominant in their trade areas. So basically they tend to be high traffic areas. Like a lot of them are some of those smaller shopping centers. I think it's cool. Now, I do think there is a lot of people moving away from traditional brick and mortar, but not as fast as I had expected, to be honest. I know that when we saw some of the fact that some of the data that came out from Visa recently in December about how much people were spending, the fact that most of it was in brick and mortar stores was kind of interesting. So I do like the model that they have. I think this will be a fine one. Are they going to give you the most income? No. Are they going to give you the most growth? No. I'm not super bullish on REITs, but the REITs that I think we will see some recovery in, this would fall in that group. Um, I'm most bullish, of course, on industrial. I think industrial REITs will definitely do really, really well. Any REITs around old age homes, those are going to do well as well. Residential will do pretty good. Office REITs are the one that I'm still a little bit worried about. I'm still a little bit worried about for sure. All right. Paul says SNDK. Yeah, and SNDK. Watch, Paul. It comes up with nothing. SNDK. That's why we went over to Yahoo. All I get under SNDK is I get another thing that pops up, some penny stock for a potash company. All right, now now we're back to Newell. Hi, Newell. If you get physical gold from Wealthsimple, they are made and kept in mint, if I remember correctly. I think there's only a fee for when you want it delivered to you. Oh, okay. That's interesting. See, yeah, like I said, I don't have any interest in owning physical gold, but that is an interesting thing. Yeah, so maybe that would be their way of doing it for sure. And Scratch says, don't sell IVN. You will regret it in the future. They have the best grades in the industry. Yeah, no, I'm bullish long term on IVN, 100%. Isaiah, hello. Hi, Candace. I added to HHIS, Biggie, and Utes today. HHIS and Biggie should move back up sometime, I hope. Yeah, I mean, I love HHIS, and even though HHIS is aggressive with their covered calls, it is an income, and you know when we talk about the whole at the money and you know and out of the money, it's definitely an at the money covered call. Um, but it does have the fact that you know you're not writing on the whole fund, and tech I think is just a really big. I think it's reliable that way. I think that we'll get a good amount of growth with it from the half that's not having cover calls written on. So I do like HHIS, and I do hold it in the challenge as well. Wahipple, I'm considering selling my biggie for INTY for INTY, but got till the 15th to think it over. Yeah, absolutely. I do like INTY. And those of you guys who are late to the show, I'll pull this up here. This is breaking news today. So we have a date here for INTY. So this here is the Evolve International Equity Ultra Yield ETF. It is expected to begin trading on January 15th. It's not guaranteed, but it is expected. And these have all played out pretty much exactly as planned for all of them. So I would say, yeah, you'll probably be able to get this on the 15th. But this is basically it's international equities. They're going to hold all over the world some of the biggest companies, and they're going to be giving you semi-monthly. So they'll be writing covered calls on them, 33% of the portfolio, semi-monthly income. I don't know yet what the dividend is going to be, but you know, it's going to be. I think this is going to be a good fund. I do like what I'm hearing with this fund. I might have to add it to the challenge. You know, whoops, I hit a button. All right. Paul says down the same amount today as I was up yesterday. Okay. Okay. Oh, guys, I can turn off the Financial Express Nightbot thing. There we go. Paul says, Wahipple, what is INTY? Well, I just showed you. Bismarcky, good afternoon. Oh, and Wahipple, Paul, that's Evolve's new ultra yield product on the international market. Yep. Crypto going up in after hours. Oh, is it? Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Let's go down here to Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, look at this. We've almost made up. We've almost made up the amount it fell today, so that's not too shabby. Let's get back above 94. I would love to see that. And Claude says, yeah, I'm with Wealthsimple indeed. Awesome. Yeah, I love Wealthsimple, guys. It is a very good broker. Probably one of the better ones, especially if you're new. Guys, in fact, here, let me do this. I'm going to drop the affiliate link here for Wealthsimple. So if you sign up to Wealthsimple, use this link. They're going to give you some free money. They'll give you $25. They're going to give, well, they'll give the channel $25 as well. So it's a win-win, and I do really like it. I think it's really easy to use for sure. All right. Weibel says, I am not really sold on how Biggie runs. I prefer to have a little more growth and more stability, even if the payments are not as big. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of my core. My core is the growth dividend, or sorry, growth dividend, growth income investing. So that is a lot of income, but also a good amount of growth at the same time. So yeah, Biggie tends to be more very income centric. All right, Bismarcky says, Family Day is coming. How about a family of goats for the next holiday? Oh, keep those ideas coming, maybe. When is Family Day? I know it's in February sometime. I'm not sure exactly when. It's after Valentine's Day, if I remember correctly, but maybe I don't remember correctly, because growing up, Family Day was not a holiday for me. I think it came around like, I don't think it's been around that long, actually. Scott said, did anyone else hear about that safety deposit box robbery in Germany? Might want to rethink physical precious metals. Oh, right. Didn't they drill into it or something? Oh, boy. Sky says, maybe Inti will be like a super XEQT. Maybe. Now, there is a covered call. Is it HEQT, I think? Let me check this out. Whoops. I think it's HEQT. HEQT rate. Whoops. Let's, all right. HEQT. Here we go. So yeah, this one here is the Global X All Equity Asset Allocation. And you'll notice, oh, wait, nope, this can't be it. It's got a too small distribution. There is, I know there is a covered call version. I thought this was it. I thought it was HX. I thought it was this one. I thought it was HEQT, but there is one. I'll have to look it up. Why is this? This is odd. Yeah, 3-cent distribution. This is definitely not it. All right. Guys, what is it? Let me know. You guys know. There's some of you there who are screaming the ticker at me, probably behind your keyboard. Put it in the chat for me, please. But I know there is a covered call version of an all equity for sure. Let's see. Good point, Scott. UIC, which sells uranium metals, are hot. Yeah, UEC is doing pretty good for a US, and that's a US one. All right, let's see here. A Black Canyon. I swear every time I look at Black Canyon, I see a different word. I've seen Black Crayon. I've seen Black Canyon. Yeah. What are recommended growth ETFs? One for Canadian market and one for the US market. Well, if you're looking at growth ETFs, you know, pretty much any passive income ETF that looks at the S&P 500, those tend to be pretty good. Also, things like, you know, look right here, HEQT. Let's pull up the 1 year on it. This here, any of the all equities, you're going to see the same shape on all of them. So this here is HEQT. There's XEQT. There is, but mind you, that will give you global. That will give you global for sure. And it's not going to be one for that one, I guess. Oh boy, wait a minute. All right. So first of all, let me back up. I misread your question. So you're looking one that does the Canadian market and one for the US market. Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, this one here would be international. So all of the all equity, they tend to be very international. Canada, US, emerging markets, Europe, Australia, Asia. You're going to get exposure right across the board, which is fantastic. If you look at pretty much, so for the US, if you look at any passive fund that looks at the S&P 500, so, well, here's an example. A VFE. So VFEs, just the Vanguard S&P 500, that one is going to track Well, the S&P 500, and you're going to recognize this shape. It's pretty much a similar shape to XEQT. And there's a lot of different ones. You don't have to look at Vanguard. I mean, that one popped into mind. There's most companies have one. And there's a beautiful thing here is you can actually just type in, if you were to type in S&P 500 here, it's going to give you a whole bunch of other ones that also give you all kinds of exposure. Like, look, here's an Invesco S&P 500 equal weight. I'm not a big fan of equal weight in an exchange of that nature, only because I prefer one that's going to give me more weight to the companies that are doing even better. So I like to have them weighted by their performance, pretty much. But here's another one. Here's the Investo. This one here is an ESG. So that's if you're looking for, I guess, greener companies. So, you're ESG compliant, all of that fun stuff. There's a lot of different ones. Now for Canada, let's stick to Vanguard. Stuff like VDY, for example. This is the Vanguard FTSE, Canadian Dividend Index. And this one, once again, if we pull up the shape, it's a similar shape, but it's a stronger incline because Canada absolutely kicked the U.S. butt last year. So, and once again, there's a lot of different ones that just do Canada. So, don't listen to me and say, oh, I got to go VDY. You don't. You want to do your due diligence. You want to make sure you pick one that works for you. There's a lot of them, not just VDY, not just VFB, not just XEQT. There's a lot of them for sure. All right. Mary's in with a bunch of thumbs. You got a lot of thumbs, Mary. A lot of thumbs. Hipple. When 60 came out, the payment wasn't released till the first trading day, so I would think the same's going to happen with Inti. Yeah, probably. We probably won't get any more information. HEQL. Wasn't that, or what was I looking at? I don't know what I was looking at then. All right, let's try HEQL. Here we go. This is, the enhanced version. We were looking at the unenhanced version. Duh. All right, so I was in the right company. So this one here, going back to Inti, this is kind of, you're going to get some growth here, but this one will, well, oh gosh. Their enhanced version, not doing a lot. This one is not, wait a minute. Sky, EQC, that's it. That's it. All right, that's what I was looking for. EQCL, holy banana bread. Enhanced, here we go. Why are the other ones all say enhanced? I'm going straight to the yield. Yeah, this is it. Here we go, 11%. So you will get something here. You will get something. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So EQCL, there we go. Do we get a Valentine's Day goat? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe. Now, Hipple. We got ourselves a super sticker because somebody wants to see the New Year's goat. All right, guys, get ready. Here we go. It's a cute goat. This is like a young goat. It doesn't even have horns yet, but what can I say? There's our goat trying to do aerobics. Oh boy. Thank you, Sky. And that's our one till we. The next one, I always want to change the funny goat up, so we'll let this one for a little bit, and once people are like, no more. That's enough of our aerobics goat. Then we'll go with the new one. We'll definitely have a Valentine's Day one. We'll change it up. All right, let's see here. Newell, I think EQCL is HEQL with 25% covered call. Yeah, I believe so. I think you're right. Let's see, sort of not really the same underlying. Oh, do you know what? I just received that XGD dividend. There you go. There you go. You were supposed to get it today. So, and I know you think yesterday, but that's when your broker gets it. You get it the day after. Kelly says, Inti, inside a TFSA or go non-registered? I'm thinking about the 15% withholding, and I don't know if it applies to that. Okay. It's not going to apply in the way that you might think. So because they're a Canadian company, any withholding taxes involved from foreign countries, from some of the assets they're holding, that all would happen to, well, not to you, but to Evolve. So that's already calculated into that. And a lot of times as well, they will have deals if they're going to hold so for example, when you're, some of these companies are holding US assets, sometimes they will have specific deals with the IRS that they may not actually be paying 15% withholding. They might only be paying 5%. Or they might actually be receiving those dividends and sort of writing them off as something that's non-taxable. So they've got a lot of ways to get around it, and these companies do it because they want, they don't want to pay, they don't want to pay any more than you want to pay. So for your perspective, if you're holding Inti, well, is it going to be tax efficient? Sure. Because you will have some of the usual suspects. You'll have return of capital. You'll have capital gains in there. Now you will have some foreign income. Yeah, absolutely. That part's 100% taxable. But for the most part, most of that money that you're going to be receiving is going to be the latter. It's going to be from the premiums. So you're going to get a lot of money from the premiums. That, of course, is not, that's going to be written up as either ROC or capital gains. Mostly ROC from the premium money. So you're going to be fine with it. Now, where would I hold it? Well, here's what I would do. If my TFSA is nowhere near being full, no brainer. I would put it in my TFSA. If I am in a situation where I'm kind of juggling, like, okay, which ones do I hold because my TFSA is full? It's not a bad one. It's not the best to have outside, but it's not a bad one. Like, for example, I would say HDIV, so HDIV, would be slightly better outside than INTY, slightly. But not, it's not a big difference in that sense. But yeah, if your TFSA, if you got lots of room in your TFSA, I would just put it there. The Global X site kind of sucks. Some of the sites are pretty bad, I know. Scott says VFV, VEC, and VIU to cover all bases. Basically VEQT. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anchor says, Candace, you're right. There's plenty of other Canadian alternative ETFs. So yeah, XIC. Yeah, I love XIC. So there's another one as well. So yeah, absolutely. Paul, HEQL is Global X, but started when it was Horizons. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny now. It's like I almost forget Horizons because it's been Global X for so long. Wahipple, I was looking at VDY and it even made my short list, but Inti came out, so I think it's got to stay there for a day comparisons. Okay, fair enough. Flash Dance Goat. Oh, that's a good name for that goat. Flash Dance Goat. I love it. All right. Good afternoon, Candace. Love the new aerobics goat. Oh, well, thank you, Heather. Let's see. Nick Shirley found the Minnesota daycare fraud. Now Tim Walz, the current governor, isn't running for re-election. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all of that. Is there any fraud with this Canadian $10 a day daycare? Good question. I don't think there should be. Hopefully there's not, but, anything is possible. What does enhanced refer to? Usually if you have the word enhanced in a covered call, it usually means that they're not just doing covered, if you have enhanced in an ETF, it usually means they're doing something extra to it. So for example, covered calls or leverage. So I've seen sometimes they might just call it a covered call ETF and it just has covered calls, but then they might throw enhanced in front of it and it might mean that they're doing the covered calls plus leverage. But not always. I've seen a few where it's just covered calls and they've called it enhanced. So there's no 100% rule on it, but generally it means it's a little bit more than just a regular ETF for sure. How do you defraud daycare? Have fake kids? Maybe, or it's like, those pudding pops are not made of pudding. Oh boy. Let's leave that one alone. I think that joke kind of went into a bad place very fast. Paul said enhanced is 1.25 leverage. In most cases it is, but I've seen it used in multiple different cases. But most times you do see enhanced, it's usually a covered call with leverage, most times. Thanks, Paul. Let's see. Anyone looking into the AI or space sectors? I love AI, and I do like space, but I think right now, I think AI is probably going to make you more money than space at the moment. However, with the focus on defense, a lot of that defense is space-based. There's a lot of space-based satellites, defensive satellites, especially if the U.S. and Canada were to go ahead with the Golden Dome or whatever they're calling it. That would involve a lot of space technology. So I think they're both really good sectors. I would even throw quantum in as, an up and comer as well. So I think all three of those would be. I think they're good sectors. I think they're very good sectors. All right, guys, we're at that 1.5 hour. If you got your last minute questions, get them in now. Get them in before we're done. Because I'll try to get to them if you get them in quickly. Paul. Exactly, fake kids. After there was a Craigslist post for child actors for a Minnesota daycare for the time when inspectors came to daycare. Holy cow, that's crazy. I probably should read in on this one. I did not look at it at all, Paul. But yeah, oh wow. Lisa says, hi everyone, sorry I'm late. I guess if there's government money for the daycare, maybe, people will do anything, I guess, for money sometimes. Let's see, I was thinking if there's a way to put data centers into space, that could solve the overheating the world issues. Not really. Not really. Here's the thing you have to realize, all right? Put a satellite up in space. You're thinking, space is cold. Space is cold. No heating issues. Okay, what happens when the sun comes around the corner and you're in daylight? That's absolutely another temperature extreme. So those satellites, unless you could keep them in the dark somehow the whole time, when that sunlight hits them, that's incredible amount of heat. So I don't think having data centers in space, unless you can keep them on the dark side all the time, and that's you'd have to have basically an orbit. You would have to create an orbit that keeps it always on the night side, so it's never facing the sun. Maybe that would work, but and it's funny. I've heard Elon talking about, and I've heard not Elon per se, but I've heard people saying, "Oh, well, that's what SpaceX will do." But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they're going to do that, because I have a feeling I can't see if they're on the if they're getting hit with sunlight. I see a lot of heat there. Let's see, Perlovia. I'll have a great day tomorrow on the market. Good night. Well, have a good night, Perlovia. Let's see. I've seen those kids for TV ads. I thought it was a fair trade. Anchor, I'm going to get nervous if new AI defense company called Cyberdyne Systems has an IPO. Okay, fair enough. The daycare said learning center, missing the N. Really? Oh my God. A vacuum is not a good medium for dissipating heat. It's not, absolutely. Well, there's nothing to move the heat, right? Now, space isn't empty, but for heat dissipation efforts, it sure is. I mean, yeah, you've got virtual particles that are popping in and out of existence all the time, but anyway, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Otherwise, we'll be here till midnight. Let's see. Good afternoon, everyone. Just got home. Busy day. Well, hi, Brian. You're coming in at the end. You're coming in is there only 42? Guys, come on. There's 67 people here yet. Do me a favor on your way out. Just hit that like button, please. Paul, let's see. The daycare said someone broke in and stole all their computers and records, but the breaking looked like through the drywall from the inside. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we got invaded from inner space. I don't know. Brian says, I am like button number 42. Nice. Deep water would be a better option. Yeah, other than pressure. You still have to deal with a lot of pressure, but if you could get around that, uh, the Canadian North is good, at least for half a year. Half a year, things are pretty cold. But yeah, there's ways around it. And here's the reality too. Technology, as it gets better, we will get to a point. We're not there yet. That somebody's going to come along and invent a chip that runs, that does the same thing as a chip does today, but at a cooler temperature. So I can see that happening. I see that as kind of being the future of chips is, faster chips and, less heat. So we have to figure out that. And that will happen. I think if you were to look ahead 30 years, I think heating won't be an issue in 30 years. But it is an issue now, though, for sure. USD politics are so entertaining, and we will not say what happens to the IQ when cousins marry and have kids. Oh boy. Is the silver shortage for real? I will say this. I think that I'm very bullish on copper, and there is definitely going to be a copper shortage. Silver, maybe. I don't know if I don't know if I'd call it as big of a shortage as what we'll have with copper, but I think it'll still be in high demand. I think the demand is not going to get any lower on any of the three, for sure. But copper, I think, is going to be the big shortage for sure. Scott, let's see. Cool Ranch chips. We already got them. Oh, well played, Scott. Well played. We're going to have to use our 2080 MacBooks underwater. I don't know about that, but yeah, let's see. Derek says Alberta will be free in 15 months. I wonder if we ban Laurentian political terrorists from investing here. Oh boy, Derek, I have nothing to say about that. I got nothing to say. But let's go down a rabbit hole for a second. If Alberta separated from Canada, I can't see anybody saying nobody can invest. You want investment. You always want foreign investment. Rob, what's a good copper stock or ETF to get into? There's a lot of them, Rob. We've already looked at the covered call one if you're looking for income. If you go to the channel, Rob, there is a video that came out like last week. Was it last week or the week before? But within the last 2 weeks, there was a video on copper, and there's a lot of examples in there for you to look at, for you to do some due diligence with. China is just trying to get their silver. They export a lot, so not much of a shortage. There we go. Google is developing Project Suncatcher, a plan to build solar-powered data centers in orbit with test launches planned for 2027. This is going to be interesting. Now, here's that thing, though, right? Maybe if you build it with, you still have to deal with, you don't want, the parts of the data center that have to stay cool, you do not want them getting exposed to direct sunlight under no circumstances. So maybe they've got a system. I'd have to see how that's going to look and how they're going to do it. But I'll tell you, I'm just a little skeptical on that. I'm a little skeptical, but it's, if Google's doing it, they definitely have a way to do it. China did change their export rules for silver in that sense. ZMT from BMO. Yeah, there's another one right there. If Alberta separates, McDavid's coming home. There we go. All right, guys. I think we're... oh, wait a minute. We'll get one more here. Derek says, McDavid signed for $10.5 million instead of $18 million a year because he wants to be an Albertan for life. Well, there you go. All right. Well, I do love Alberta. Fantastic province. But, guys, nonetheless, we're kind of at the end here. I still have one last thing I do want to say to you guys. And, well, that is bye-bye.